First-person shooters have become one of the most popular video game genres today, thanks to the likes of Call of Duty and Halo. But what about the games that didn't get as much shine? I'm Chris Panda from SFXX Play, and I'm here to take a rundown of our top 10 underrated first-person shooter games. This list is purely opinionated and to the folks on this channel. If you disagree, then let us know in the comments and what should be on this list. Number 10, Geist. You play as John Ramey, a scientist who is to assist in a mission to save a college friend. You are shot during the mission, only to wake up strapped to a machine where your soul is ripped from your body. You then have to behave like a ghost in order to retain your body and finish the mission. A game with a great concept that was unfortunately bagged down by shoddy frame rate issues and a generic first-person shooter mechanic only nets it a number 10 spot. But I'd still give it a playthrough if you can dust off your old GameCube. Or Wii, take your pick. Number 9, Singularity. You play as an American spy that uses an artifact known as the Time Manipulation Device, or TMD, to grant you the ability to control things in your environment or your enemies with time. A game that has generally solid gunplay with a very meh storyline. While it tries to separate itself from the pack and it's just the end feels like a poor man's Bioshock, it still deserves a number 9 slot for its graphical ability and its fun gameplay. Number 8, Black. Developed by Criterion Games, the team that brought you the Burnout franchise, Black is a game where you are a Black Ops soldier who cares about the story? It's all about the awesome level destruction and cool first-person narrative. It has fairly decent reviews, and unfortunately, Black 2 was scrapped thanks to the internal issues between Criterion and EA. But with its first-person narrative inside the game, its awesome destruction, and its pretty decent graphics, it's unfortunate that we'll never see a sequel to this pretty fun title. Number 7, the Conduit series. A series developed exclusively for the Wii by High Voltage Software is a sci-fi game where you are a US agent tasked with stopping an alien threat on Washington, D.C. The main draw to this game was its understanding of the hardware it was built upon. The controls were extremely customizable and spot on. It also featured fantastic online multiplayer on a system where online was more so an afterthought. If you haven't played any of the Conduit games, I recommend that you highly do that pretty much now. Number 6, Pariah. Pariah is a rather difficult game to explain as it's a story primarily done loosely. You play as Jack Mason, a medic tasked with transporting a cryogenically frozen patient who is containing a highly classified transgenic virus. As your patient escapes during mass chaos from being shot down out of the sky, it is your duties to retrieve her. Now, while the game doesn't feature an amazing story, it does feature a pretty decent shooting mechanic and a map editor that allows you to use said created maps online or in a LAN environment. It's a fairly decent game that is actually really underrated because nobody has ever played or heard of it. I recommend you all check it out. Number 5, Red Steel 2. A standalone sequel to Red Steel 2 is essentially a samurai western that tasks you to use guns and swords to take down your opposition. With its fun gameplay and awesome cel-shaded graphics, it truly stood out as a title for the Wii. The only major drawback were the environments felt a tad barren at times. It's still fun to slice up bad guys though, so if you have a Motion Plus and a Wii, definitely play it, because I'm pretty sure most of you have not, especially due to its poor sales of around 270,000. Number 4, Project Snowblind. Developed by Crystal Dynamics, the team that brought you the recent success of Tomb Raider, Project Snowblind is a spiritual successor to Deus Ex that features fun gunplay, decent multiplayer, and the option to approach any given situation in many different ways, given the situation. The only major drawback was the game's length, as it was pretty short and it's pretty much inactive multiplayer as it felt as if nobody was playing it. That aside, it's still a very entertaining FPS that you can probably pick up for really cheap and is still really fun to this day, even if you're just playing by yourself for the story. Number 3, Bulletstorm. If you like whipping dudes across spikes, blowing people to bits, flicking them up in the air, doing whatever this and that, Bulletstorm is the game for you. A game that was purely based off of hype, I guess, from the company People Can Fly. You play as a Marine soldier, it doesn't really matter. The game is just primarily based on fun. The story is nonsensical, the graphics are awesome, and it bases a score system where you are just tasked to do as many zany things with your weapons as possible. That being said, that makes the game that much more fun. So if you haven't played it, I'm pretty sure you should be playing it, even though it was primarily bought just for the Gears of War 3 demo. Number 2, Star Wars Republic Commando. Star Wars Republic Commando is essentially a Rainbow Six clone featuring Republic Commandos, the guys that are clones from Star Wars. This game is very interesting as it allows you to tackle missions in several ways. It has different options that you can do as far as shooting or being stealthy. It's really neat. Problem is that it came out around the time where as there were just way too many Star Wars games, not enough fun Star Wars games, and it just didn't get the respect it deserved. But at least it gets the respect it deserves today on this list. Number 1, Timesplitters series. If you've never played Timesplitters, well, stand back. These games were developed by the same team that brought you GoldenEye for the Nintendo 64 from Rare, but it wasn't produced by Rare. It was actually produced by folks at EA. One of the most engrossing parts of this game was its awesome narrative where you do tons of time travel missions, and it continues to do that from Timesplitters 1, 2, and Future Perfect. Not only that, but the multiplayer is awesome, as you'll be able to create your own maps, and you'll be able to use those maps in multiplayer modes. Timesplitters Future Perfect was the first in the series to feature online, and unfortunately it is the weakest in the series, but it's still probably one of the most fun. If you've never played Timesplitters, you should have played Timesplitters. It's probably one of the best games, and it's got such a following that there was a petition to bring the game back. We haven't heard word from when it'll come back, but we're hoping here at SF Devil X Play. So, did you guys see your favorite game on this list? Is there a game we left out that you felt should have been in the top 10? Feel free to leave a comment below, and we'll think about putting it in our next video. Just kidding, we won't. But it'd be nice to know your feedback. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe this video, and make sure you go ahead and follow us if you haven't. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Chris Panda, and have a good day.